how is it going? It's the Fuzz! So we're gonna finish off the series with giving Dominion some love. Who knew that Dominion needed any love considering how seemingly unbalanced it currently is? But you know what? I found a number of cards that seem to see no play whatsoever, and I wanted to give them a little bit of a tap, so maybe they make their way into Constructed somehow, or they're at least interesting, right? So anyways, starting off with the Assassin's Guild. It's a cool idea, but it costs 3 mana to activate. And yeah, with things like Assassin, or, you know, the Slave Aristocrat guy, Spoiled Aristocrat, it's like a 3 mana removal, basically. That's kind of cool, but Dominion already has lots of removal. They don't really need this. And actually, you have to have a lot of mana saved up. If you want to do the Spoiled Aristocrat, you gotta have 4 mana. And I mean, that could be good with Spoiled Aristocrat, but again, it's expensive, and it's in the aspect that has stuff like Soul Flames, Assassinate, and Devious Plot. Yeah, you gotta look at those cards first. So I think Assassin's Guild might actually be good if it was in just a different aspect. Yeah, it could be a way for other aspects to get removal. Yeah, there is no reason for this to be in Dominion. Seriously. Let's give Assassin's Guild to somebody else. And maybe swap it out with some other useless skill shrine, like that target emblem crap. Word of Power! Oh my goodness. So the word cards are supposed to encourage mono decks. Well, to put it kindly, Word of Power does not encourage... Well, actually, it doesn't encourage any kind of a deck, except one that likes to lose a lot. Because ramping your opponent by like 2 crystals is really bad. Did you know that? Did you know that ramping your opponent is bad? Who knew? So, if you want this card to remain as it is... Okay, the way I see it, you've got 2 choices. You can either totally redesign it and have it actually benefit you from running Mono Dominion, or you could just make sure that the enemy always gets exactly 1 mana crystal and you get mana crystals equal to your Dominion levels, so that you actually get more than your opponent. What an amazing idea. Now, the only problem with that is that much ramp might be dangerous, because on turn 3, you'd ramp like 2 mana crystals, and you could play Cataclysm immediately after. So that's a little dangerous, and maybe it shouldn't be like that, especially since I'm already saying Horizons should go away. I don't know if mana ramp is okay or not, but maybe this much mana ramp is a bit dangerous. But yeah, I don't know. I think I would be more interested in just a total redesign of this card. Powerless Incarnate. It used to be such a broken card. Oh man, and then they cut its attack and health in half. Now, I like this card because it obviously encourages Mono Dominion, right? If you have 3 Dominion aspects, it's a 3-speed creature with huge stats. Well, maybe. The problem is, for it to have huge stats, you gotta have a lot of mana. So I think with Powerlust, maybe you could have it started as a 1-1, and then it gains extra attack and health, like equal to half your mana rounded up. So it's like this, but +1/+1. So if you play it with like 5 mana, it's like a 4/4. That could be pretty good. Because right now it's just... Like, for this to be good, you have to wait quite a while. And Dominion just doesn't bother with crap like this. And this dies to Harpy and Styx as well. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe making it a little bit bigger. Because it used to cost 3 mana, but that didn't... The fact that they made it 2 actually didn't help, because you don't want to play it early. Right? It's kind of cool that the attack and the speed change as your mana and levels change. But if you're thinking something like, oh, I know, I'm going to run Mono Dominion, Word of Power, Powerlust Incarnate, and drop like 3 speed, 6 6s for 2 mana, so OP, well, you're going to get Cataclysmed. But hey, it might be a fun project. But yeah, Powerlust, maybe slightly more stats. I mean, if you're playing it and you have like 7 mana, then it's just a 4/4. That's not that impressive, but with the +1/+1, it would be a 5/5. Be pretty powerful. You could even make it a 4-speed 5/5. But again, you have to have 4 aspects, so that's very late game. So it would reward you going mono Dominion quite a lot, because it starts out as a terrible creature, but then it gets a lot better. See my point? So yeah, give him a +1/+1, just on top of what he already has. Powerseeker. So first of all, what I would like with Powerseeker, and this actually goes for Vulture as well, is change the ability so that you only activate it once, and not like every single time for every single mana. So if you have 10 mana, you don't have to click it 10 times, because that's honestly just tedious. Just have the effect, spend X mana, Powerseeker gets +X/+X until end of turn, use this power only once per turn. Simple. Or have Powerseeker have 3 HP, but only gain attack with mana, not health. So even if you spend 10 mana, it's still just a 10/3. So you could still remove it with a fireball, or you could just run a creature into it. So that if your opponent's holding a Powerseeker and like 7 mana, it's not like, well, you can never attack through it because he can just bump it up. With a max health of 3, it would be like, if you have a 3 attack creature with 3 speed, you could just trade into it no matter what. That's actually what I'd like to see. A 0/3 Powerseeker with X mana, Powerseeker gains X attack until end of turn, use once per turn. That's my idea. Would it make the card good? I don't know. But it'd make it interesting. Bloodborne Prince. This guy used to cost 4 mana. Oh yay. So the main problem with this card is the whole sacrificing idea is just not really well fleshed out. There actually was a deck with Enoch that ran Corruption and Dominion that was actually pretty interesting. I think I called it the Enoch Sackfest. And the idea was you would sack things like the Death Curse Shaman, and you would be running Flesh Sculptor, and then it all kind of worked out somewhat. With Bloodborne Prince, just sacrificing creatures to give him a small power boost just generally isn't worth it. All we're really missing is some spell or something that generates a lot of garbage, like fast. Like, you might think, well, I don't just use Restless Tombs. Yeah, but your zombie legionnaires are probably going to do more damage just by being on the board than being fed to the prince. So I think Bloodborne Prince just needs a little bit of support to work with. And then he and that whole sacrifice archetype might work out. Power Spike Armor. So the problem with this card is because of the -1/-1, it's like a temporary +1/+1, and then your creature starts getting weaker and weaker. It's just so much worse than the other implants. The Hook giving +2/2 is, you know, really big deal. And Overcharger giving +3/3 is just insane. Power Spike, I think, needs a little bit of something else. Maybe some other effect. I don't know. The card is terrible. It's not that bad in Limited, but I'm not actually sure how you can like make it better, because you don't want it to give a bigger buff, because then it'd be way too good at 1 mana. But if it doesn't give the weakness emblem, it'd be way too good as a buff. I'm actually not sure. I put it on the list and I don't know what to do with it. Atriska. Very interesting card. It's legendary, which is pretty awesome. So Atriska is obviously supposed to work with that sacrifice idea. I like this concept of, as an additional cost, sacrifice a creature, and it's like overcosted or overstated. That's great. Atriska is not really overstated by that much, because it's just a 5/5 flying deadly. I mean, compared to Minotaur at least. So I think that second effect should be way better than what it is, because just getting range, like, who cares? It's already a 5/5 deadly. So what I'd like to see with Atriska is, with the 4 aspect ability or even a 3 aspect ability, you have the option to sacrifice 2 creatures instead of 1, but then if you do, you summon a second 5/5 flying and deadly. So you get like 2 of them if you sack 2 creatures. That would make it a very big power play later on if you're playing that kind of deck. Would be interesting. Murderous Chieftain. It's another 5/5 for Dominion. What's the deal with Dominion getting all these 5/5s? So the main problem with this one is just strictly worse than Minotaur, which requires a lot less shenanigans. Because sacrificing 2 creatures, that's a lot. And yeah, you could just play it for 4 mana, but why not just play Minotaur? Right? It's so much simpler. And that's really all it comes down to. Murderous Chieftain is in the wrong aspect. It seems like it should be a rage card honestly, because, you know, for rage, getting a bigger beat stick I mean, they got Erulak, but like another beat stick, whereas the minion already got Atriska as a 5/5 and Minotaur as a 5/5. This guy is just, like, redundant? It's hard to fit this into a deck, and as it's an orc, hey, Rage has a lot of orcs. Just toss them in there and see what they do with it. Now, of course, it has to work with it's got that sacrifice outlet too, but sacking 2 creatures is a lot, and Atriska is only a 2-aspect card, so it seems like a more likely candidate for that kind of deck than Murderous Chieftain. Yeah, toss this guy into Rage, and I don't know. I mean, maybe it would be playable because it's hard to sack 2 creatures, but maybe with the whole slave deal, it might work out. And Rage already has Forced Labor, which can summon a lot of dudes. Maybe that could work. It could be like the leader of the orcs, right? You know, you sack 2 orcs, but you bring out the chieftain, the big boss. That would be cool. It'd be interesting to see this card at 2 mana, 2 aspects, which seems absolutely ridiculous. At 2 mana, 2 aspect, 5/5 unstoppable. But you gotta sack 2 creatures, right? So, not that simple, actually. That might be interesting, but again, because of Slave Gladiator, you could actually probably pull it off on turn 3. Like, you could probably pull it off because of Slave Gladiator. And that's bad. So yeah, toss this guy into Rage, and I don't know. Maybe making it 2-aspect. Maybe double Rage in 2-aspect. There you go. I have seen the light. Double Rage, 2 mana, make it a Rage card. Done. Anyways, that's it for this one. I have given all the love to these cards that I can. Let me know what you think. What Dominion cards do you think need love, if any? Oh, I know. Scatterdoor's Bidding, obviously underpowered. Needs to be better. Cataclysm should cost 3 mana and draw you a card, right? Clearly. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Looking forward to the balance patch. And we'll see if we can make some meta predictions. Although, I don't expect it to be that big of a patch, but probably bigger than the last one, which just changed Orite and the Ghoul. And didn't really do that much except making zombies bad. And that's, like, it. And I think it made, like, one other deck, the Elric red-blue bad, but nothing else changed. So, it'll be bigger than this one. Hopefully, it addresses more issues. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.